What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Foreheads Podcast, the greatest disaster on the internet. I'm Goldenboy. You got Reinforced, Bren, and Sideshow. We're going to talk
my
about
forehead is showing.
a bunch of things. And Bren, can you? Yes, your forehead showing because it's massive. Okay, you claim that you have a perfect hairline, but that's not true. Anyway, moving on. Make sure you give us a follow on Spotify, rate and review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you choose to listen to your podcast goodness. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. Click the bell to be notified when we go live. We love, or when a new video goes live. Also comment, all that good stuff. People seem to really love last week's episode.
Did they?
And I just want to take credit for it.
What did we do last week?
We talked about the
Twitch
streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was my idea. To which
Well,
no.
Wait
Bren
a second.
said, wait a minute. Hold on. This is supposed to be an insult to Bren. Okay?
Okay.
Where Bren said, I don't want to talk about this because there's absolutely nothing to talk about. That's what he said.
Yeah, I did say that, yeah.
And then we had like an hour conversation about this subject and people liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
So
it wasn't
screw
your
you,
idea.
Bren.
It wasn't your idea. It came from a comment section. You said people have been commenting, asking us to talk about this. You can't claim that it was your idea.
It was my idea to bring the comment section into our content.
Okay. Well, what were they commenting? What do they want to talk about this week, Alex?
You
haven't looked, have you?
Hold
You haven't looked.
on. Here's the thing. The Trash Avenger actually says, I love Avatar, but it is by definition not an anime. It's just borrowed from the art style. Not really. It kind of is. Anyway,
No,
before we get into
I've
that,
been
though,
watching it. I've
have
been
you
watching
guys enjoyed it? I was gonna ask. Have you been enjoying Avatar?
No. I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna stick
Wait,
with
how
it.
many
all
episodes
right?
have you seen?
I think I've seen 7 episodes so far since
Oh,
last
you're on
week.
the grind.
Yeah. So I've
That's
been really.
hardly any.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm going to continue with it, even though I'm not enjoying it, because I feel like it's going to flesh out, right? But it has all of the things about. I already had this discussion on my stream before, where I keep using the word anime, where apparently what I actually mean is the tropes of shonen anime. So when I'm going to say it has all the things about anime that I dislike in terms of storytelling, what I think I mean is that it has perhaps borrowed from like some lazy storytelling of shonen anime and kind of that and fleshed it out.
Why don't you define that for me? What
right.
lazy
I
tropes
feel
of
like
shonen anime?
The characters are quite one-dimensional. The big quest that they're on is just having repeated side adventures to fill up episodes, which I that are pointless to the overall quest. The character development as so far is basically zero. The backstories have all been very lazy, like flashbacks into their past, like that method of storytelling, instead of trying to develop and flesh out the character by showing how they react to certain experiences. And the writing and the way that they say things is very very plain. Like the writing is super obvious. They'll be like, wow, I'm so sad about that. Which is like, okay, it's a Nickelodeon show. It's based for kids, but I'm not a kid. I'm an adult, and I want to try and enjoy the show. And it's very boring. It's very basic at the
I
moment.
think
But
you
I'm
hit the
hoping
nail
that
on
it
the
does
head.
get better.
Change your mindset.
What am I supposed to be appreciating about this? I
Were
guess
you
that's
ever
the
a
point.
child?
Yes, I was. I do remember being a child because I used to watch The Weakest Link whenever I came back from school. I would,
This
I
explains.
actually would too,
so
with
much.
Swedish subtitles.
really?
Yeah.
What?
Amazing.
Yo, that shit was banging. Actually, it was not when I came home from school. I think it aired during the day, because during the day everyone's at work and everyone's at school. So when I would stay home from school, which more than I'd like to admit, I would just watch The Weakest Link on
Watch The
at like
Weakest
11 a.m. This would be great.
I used to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when I
I've
would
never
stay
seen
home
it.
from school.
What?
Good show.
I never really watched much kids show as a kid because
Wait. You
things
never
like
seen a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
no, things like Cartoon Network and Boomerang and Nickelodeon were paid subscription
Boomerang.
services. Well, yeah, that was another one of these paid subscription services, but you had to pay for them, and so my parents never did. So I would watch just like the basic 4 channels.
Before I unpack the transgressions of Josh never watching one of the best
The Fresh
sitcoms
Prince of
all
Bel-Air was
time.
on BBC Two.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Josh
I mean-
couldn't relate to it.
I thought it was
Uh,
on like Nickelodeon or something. I don't know. I don't know.
It was on so it was on various networks. Real quick though, fun fact, it's called Boomerang, and I always thought this was interesting because it shows old cartoons, and I always thought Boomer, Boomerang. I know it's meant to like bring you back. but
Right. But
Boomer's
you would
in
always
there.
think boomer.
So no, it was recent when I was like I worked an E-League gig, and this was when like everyone that whole like okay Boomer, that whole meme came
Yeah, I
about.
was really
And then-
kicking off.
Really kicking off at the time. I'm really up to speed and streets ahead with the kids. But then, like I saw it and I was like, oh shit, Boomerang. Oh, that's actually clever. Anyway, that being said, Josh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is one of the best American sitcoms ever made. And I
mean,
say
everyone
this,
loves it, right? Like everyone I've talked to really enjoys it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's really
here's
good.
the question: is it nostalgia or was it genuinely
No.
good? Because
No,
I've
good, man.
started watching Avatar as well, and I feel the same way Josh did. So the mindset I'm in is like, I have to watch Avatar, like it's the first time I'm seeing Pokemon. Like it's almost the same thing. Because I have tons of nostalgia about Pokemon and how I love Pokemon show, but I don't have that for Avatar, and so it's a
I
very
think-
different viewing experience. Is
I think you
nostalgia with
guys-
Bel-Air?
Just to go back to the Avatar comment, though, I think that you guys need to go into it with. I think people have made the mistake of gassing it up, like gassing the
Yeah.
series up.
I thought it'd be
hyping it
like
up.
True Detective, but it's not anything like it. I don't really. No, I'm
True
kidding.
Detective.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I came into this hoping it would be like Westworld.
I think people
Where's
because
the
people
AI?
gas like it's all over Twitter right now. People arguing between the sequel to it and the actual show itself, Avatar versus Korra and other shit. I think you should have just gone into it with very minimal expectations and then had those expectations met and
but-
then exceeded a little bit later on.
But I never want to watch a show. I wouldn't even watch a show if I didn't have high expectations for it. I wouldn't bother. There's good stuff. There's good other stuff on TV.
It's got good animation. It's a kid's show, so you shouldn't be expecting like
No one
nuanced,
told me it was a
complex-
kid show. No one told me it was a show for kids.
fair enough.
Like,
Because when you hear
really?
the term anime, you think it's going to be something
Hold on.
targeted more toward younger adults. So I do understand that.
Who
Yeah.
recommended this show to you?
I wouldn't say that it was a specific person. I would say it was more that everyone seemed to be excited that it was available on Netflix. All of the people that were excited were adults, and so I didn't realize that they were just hyped for a show that they had watched when they were kids.
Yeah,
I
it's a
thought they
nostalgia.
actually enjoyed it.
It's not nostalgia. It is a good show. Like the animation's quite good in it. It does have some character development, but
You
you're
just got to get further in.
not even
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
through the first season.
No, that's why I'm saying. I'm
Wait,
Wait,
gonna
how many
stick with it,
episodes
even though I'm not
is
enjoying
the
it.
first season?
Yeah.
There's 3 seasons.
Especially
yeah.
considering like Legend of Korra, right?
That's a lot more nuanced. A
Yeah,
lot
my buddy
more
Rob is like the
developed.
biggest Avatar fan, excuse me, like ever. And yeah, dude, he dived. I didn't see Korra, but he was like explained it to me, and I was like, dude, what? This is a kid's show, and he's like, nah, man, it's because the demographic aged, and it was
Yeah,
like,
so
oh, okay,
they
that's
made a
interesting.
show for like teenagers
Sure.
going on to adulthood and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I thought I would enjoy it perhaps more than some of the other anime shows that like Attack on Titan. I thought kind of it did have some more depth to it. I just never really got into it. But this is like straight back to being a child's show again.
I also think
enough.
that we do not procrastinate as much as maybe some of our viewers do. Where I'm like, how do you have time to watch all of these shows on Netflix and do all this stuff? Meanwhile, I'm like working away, trying to produce content rather than
Dude,
actually
that
like,
is-
watch content.
such a privileged comment.
No, is it though? I would
more
like
like
to
an elitist
procrastinate.
Procreate.
I also want you to procreate, Johnny, because I want to see what happens. But that's just me.
No, I'm just I just don't know how like people find the time to like, because like I want to watch it, but I'm like I can't watch.
I think a lot
everything.
of people are unemployed right now.
yeah,
Quite a
yeah. A
few.
lot of people have just got
Couple
time
million.
off,
Yeah.
just
We got a
chilling.
lot of time off, Johnny. Not a lot of people have jobs right now.
I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Now you make me feel bad, Bren.
No,
the
I didn't mean
hell?
to make you feel bad.
There's so
Yeah.
much shit I have to watch, and I'm like, is Avatar really going to
It
be the
is
one
definitely-
thing I
yeah.
watch when I have so many other things to see?
Because I've been trying to fit shit into my schedule, and I don't work as hard as any of you guys, and I still can't do it.
Wow,
So-
Alex without glasses looks so different.
Yeah.
Bro,
I
have you
know,
seen
my
Summoner
glasses-
without glasses? That's insane.
Oh yeah, it is weird. Actually, anyone that you know without glasses is weird in general. Like you just
What?
look odd.
A
It's
lot
true.
of people look different. It depends what the thickness of their glasses are, though, because if people have, really
What
strong
about me?
glasses, it makes
Bren,
their
you're
eyes
so
look
weird.
tiny. No, you
You're
look
so
normal.
weird. What happened to you, Bren? What
I think I
happened?
met you and you weren't wearing glasses. No, actually, you wore
No,
glasses.
I've always
when I met
worn
you.
glasses.
Yeah.
Josh with
yeah, yeah.
glasses. I'd like to see.
You have a very non-glasses type face.
Yeah,
I think I
I'm
could
gonna
wear
get
glasses.
I'm gonna get laser eye surgery. I think at the end of the year, hopefully, if the coronavirus clears up, I'm gonna go to Korea and get it done. The smile
You
treatment.
should get
My sister had it done.
eye beams added as well.
Eye beams.
Eye
Yeah, so you
beams?
can
What are
be
eye
like
beams?
Superman and actually laser people. What's the?
Oh, you're trying to make a joke. Well, this is an adult podcast, Alex.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
where we
real quick,
discuss Avatar.
I do want to talk about because you mentioned not watching Fresh Prince, and I just want to say this real fast because I had to find the name of the episode, but I remember that was in season 4. It was probably one of the greatest episodes of a sitcom ever, and it was called "Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse," and there's a very famous line that Will Smith says where
Oh, dude, that
He
episode
says-
broke me.
he says, "How come he don't want me?" And that scene. So I grew up in a single parent household, and my dad was like not very involved in my life. Like early on. Like now, yes,
Sure.
but early on he wasn't. So because of that, that scene as a kid hit me even harder. And it's like the show that show did such a great job of really taking out the actually not taking out injecting, I should say, a new perspective into into our televisions, one that we haven't really been that accustomed to. Like we had Family Matters and there was the Jeffersons, and by we I mean people of color, right? Minorities.
Right.
But something about Fresh Prince, not only was Will Smith just such a charismatic person, and you could tell like in the beginning of the show it wasn't like as good because Will Smith wasn't like an actor, he was a rapper, and there was just a lot of stuff that needed to like gel to create this show. There's like the Aunt Viv drama, which I won't get into, which I hope one day you do watch it so you can know you can know what I'm talking about. But the show itself had a ton of just lessons and learnings, I think, that a lot of people didn't really think about, coming from these different communities. That's why I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is like one of, if not the greatest sitcoms ever created. I would even rank it higher than Friends, which my wife is a massive Friends
I've
fan.
never seen Friends.
Friends is good. Friends is good. But I will say this much though: if you go and watch Friends now, there is a lot of material in there that is like, whoa, that will not fly in 2020.
Sure.
Like a ton of homophobia, or I think even like transphobia in one episode. A lot of role, right? Like gender role assurances and just like the way that they approach certain topics would just not fly in media today. And I don't know if that speaks to us maturing as individuals or whether or not it's like, cancel culture and all the stuff that happened there. But I do think it was for the better, personally.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit.
Was there ever any learning that came from Friends? Like, was that really a good sitcom, or was it just
It was.
light entertainment, pure fun? Like you're saying that, what's it called? Fresh Prince was not just funny, but also like gave specific messages to certain communities that needed it, as well as like providing learning opportunities and showing that certain things were,
Well, not every show needs that. Not every show
Doesn't
needs
it?
that. No, I don't
feel
think
like-
so.
I feel like it is possible to create comedy that is meaningful, and if you don't create comedy that's meaningful, you're just providing incredibly light entertainment. Like if you don't have a message for your comedy, are you really fulfilling as much like the purpose that it
Isn't it
could
a
fulfill?
little bit about like association as well? And I think that's why both Friends and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air are like popular shows, because they have an audience. And like I don't want to like separate the audiences, but like some shows hit others harder than others, That's just the nature of things.
Yeah,
And
for
so when
sure, for
Alex
sure.
talks about how Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or whatever, like associated with him a little bit, and then hit kind of hard. Like that's his show, like. I'm sorry,
Right,
am I like labeling too much here?
You're right, and I would only say that it hit Bren the same way too, right? Like Bren watched that episode, and it hit.
Dude, that episode is brutal. I can't watch it.
I've seen it too, and I
rough.
love Fresh Prince too. It just doesn't.
I just think
it's more lighthearted to me.
Like where are those moments in Friends? Maybe I'm just not remembering them, but I always think of it as just being incredibly lighthearted and not really having those serious moments. But there probably were.
Yeah,
right? I mean, it spanned 20 seasons or something.
I think Friends is for like dumb people.
No. No.
Well, now you're labeling.
Johnny,
Now you're labeling.
Pull Cynthia in right now so you can tell that to her because she's a Friends fanatic. No,
because it's a hilarious show, but it's pretty like basic, funny stuff. It's not.
Is it base
It's not
level?
like life hits you
argument.
back.
Yes, I agree. The only thing I do believe about Friends, like especially toward the end, with the big storyline with Monica and Chandler adopting a child and using a surrogate, was a very like not PC storyline at the time, because that was such a new concept, or not a new concept per se, because it was something that's been happening for a very long time. But
it was
just
something
the idea
that doesn't
of it in a
normally get
show.
talked about on TV,
Exactly,
right? And that's
exactly.
one of the things that I think sitcoms can really be great at, is introducing stranger topics like that, or maybe not strange, but like topics that most people don't interact with, and making them think about it, making them empathize with those people, and introducing those topics to them. That's one of the reasons that I love the show Scrubs. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, I have.
It's
a fantastic show.
Incredible, and it's not just incredible because it's really funny, because it is, but it also has really serious moments baked into the show as well, both in terms of how the relationships work and in terms of how they're interacting with like patients, because it has that ability to introduce a new storyline in every single show, because
it's very
you're interacting with new
introspective.
people. Yeah, incredible. I mean, it's amazing, and it fulfills that purpose of comedy to not just make you laugh, but also to make you think.
Yeah, I just feel like at some point though, like not all comedy needs to be thought-provoking. It's okay to have some
a fart joke
comedy
in there.
that is a fart joke. I was literally gonna say that. It's okay to have that. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is the original Clerks. I love Clerks. It was just it was independent. It was a great film. It
Clerks is a great film.
Yeah, it was just good comedy, right? Very very base level. Like the script, you could tell was not. Besides like oh my god. Besides the two main characters, Randall and oh my god, I keep blanking out. Is that not Drake? It's anyway. The whole point that I'm trying to make is that it was surface level humor, but there was some story in there. But like if you just want to take it for the comedy, Dante and Randall, sorry, it was gonna kill me. If you want to take it for the comedy of what it is and not really look into the fact that here's Dante, this man who is just depressed, like insanely depressed because he's working at this quick stop that he's never going to be able to leave because he's like tied to it for such a long time. You can dive into it in that direction, but I think it's okay to detach yourself and just look at comedy and look at just the humor. I think it's fine if you look at just the humor and don't really.
Josh is a 5-head though. He wants everything he watches to have internal meanings. But
have you ever listened to stand-up that doesn't have a point?
Yeah,
I can't
Mitch
think of
Hedberg, bro.
But that's stand-up.
Mitch Hedberg has so many lines but the comedy comes from the fact that he's taking like complex situations and maneuvering away from them, or taking very simple things and maneuvering them complexly with the punchline.
Going into stand-up though.
Yeah,
stand-up is
right, but
a completely different medium to TV shows or movies.
But
I agree with that.
But that's yeah, sure, and that we were talking about sitcoms, and I think that the best sitcoms are those that also deal with those serious moments and have the comedy. I don't know. Same with films as well.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with either perspective. I not to like sound like the balance between it, but I genuinely believe that it's okay. You can like dick and fart jokes and enjoy that. Like you truly can. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also like comedy that is very introspective and like my favorite stand-up comedian is John Leguizamo. Not just because he's Hispanic, but because his stand-up is very unique in that he tells a deep story layered within these ridiculous moments of his life. Like he has this whole skit about his deaf gay uncle, and it's the funniest thing. But when you realize that like his deaf gay uncle had like such an impression on his life, but then all the dumb shit that came from it was just genuinely hilarious. And you can take that for what it is, or you can take it as like this young man was influenced very much so by his uncle who was gay and obviously witnessed a lot of this interaction at a young age of homosexuality and stuff, and also was deaf, so he had to understand what the handicap was that his uncle was dealing with and how he would interact with that as well, and then followed it up with some ridiculous comedy because, you know, it's comedy. So yes, you're not wrong. That's my take on
I
it.
truly
I'm very
want to
passionate about
believe
comedy.
that pretty much every comedy has a purpose, but we just have different priorities and perspectives, and so we can't really understand
isn't
or
the purpose to
acknowledge.
laugh?
Yeah. Well, it is, yes, but
Why
you know,
why is that not why is it not good?
But that-
It meets
but
the
I don't
primary
think that-
purpose. Why does
I
it
don't
need a
think that's-
secondary purpose?
Because in order to make people laugh, you have to mess with their expectations, and so you like making somebody laugh is not so much a goal that you can shoot for as a symptom that you produce. It's like you have to have if you want to make somebody laugh, there are just infinite ways that you would try and approach it. So you have to pick an approach, and the approach that you pick is what you're aiming for. The laugh is the side product that you are aiming to produce.
Well,
but
yeah,
but you
even-
can't just like if someone went on a show and just tickled someone so they laughed. I mean that's not the same.
That's funny.
Like if you could just plug someone into a laugh machine,
That's funny.
it wouldn't be the same. You
Yeah,
couldn't
you can't
replace
do
all
that.
comedy with laugh machines.
If I came up to your house right now and started tickling you on a live stream, people would start laughing.
but then it's not a
People
sitcom.
watching, but I'm saying that the actual person, right?
But
Like,
you would
if
start laughing because of the absurdity of it.
I would fucking hate it personally. I hate being tickled. It is one
Yeah,
of
and
the
then
worst
that would get
things in the
laughs from
entire
everyone
world.
watching.
Right, but that's cruel. That's a cruel form of laughter.
But also,
you are
though,
torturing
people-
someone and producing laughs in other people. That is a worse laugh.
People will
I
laugh
just
though
think-
because it's you two though.
I
And your
think
history.
you guys are looking. It's perfectly okay to want a little bit more with your comedy shows, but for me, I am perfectly okay with keeping my brain down to 0.1% usage and just plugging in and just, whoa, look at that, he shot himself. That's funny.
Yeah,
like
but-
I don't need these extra meanings in my shows.
Yeah, but if you're aiming, I don't know what we're talking about right here. Are we still talking about sitcoms or something? Because the thing is,
I don't know.
comedy in any medium almost still needs like narrative. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
If you,
Yeah,
if you
not just someone pooing
make
themselves
jokes,
over and over again.
Yeah.
Tell that to dude, where's my car? Pff, come on.
if you make a joke, there are some people that are going to laugh at that, and then naturally, your next aim will be to have those people laugh again, and then you build a fan base. Like if you were to joke about completely different things for like 30 minutes straight, you wouldn't build an audience because like 1 in every 5 joke would hit with different audiences, and so it just be disconnected. And so you, even when writing comedy, you want to build a narrative, and that then becomes like a part of a group
Yeah.
of people
The
that's
best-
like that sense of humor, and then you take that sense of humor and like divert it into multiple episodes and like throughout the season. But it's the same target audience because you're building a narrative with your comedy.
The best stand-up as well, if you look at the best stand-up, they always bring up a point at the beginning, and it's funny because they're making a point and pointing out maybe some of the absurdities in something, or I don't know. I don't really psychoanalyze stand-up often, but
Right.
I distinctly remember when we were in Thailand. I was sat with with a video producer. Is his name Dan? How have I forgotten his name?
Dan, the most basic.
He was
Dan,
the
probably
video
not.
producer for Valiant. Do you?
Yeah, I know that guy.
I don't think his name's Dan.
It's making it up, and Josh is
Was
no
it
idea.
Ben?
fucking-
Billy?
No.
Was his name
Chris.
Steve?
It's actually from Spain, so it
Or
might not
his
be
name
any of
Daniel.
the names.
Daniel.
Was his name Alex?
I don't know. Anyway, I apologize if you're listening. I've forgotten your name. The
That's funny. No, that's a
Yeah,
good joke.
he was into stand up and he was showing me it and he was explaining the stand up sort of flow of things, of how it works and how really good stand up follows this kind of same structure where they bring up this point and it's funny because he makes a joke out of it and always like, oh, isn't this crazy, like all of this, or makes a reference to something, and then he does the rest of his routine and he follows through with the rest of it, but then it loops back around to the first
Yeah.
initial point.
Yeah,
And-
finish on a callback.
Yeah. And wait, what did you just say?
I said a finish on a callback.
A callback. I thought you said a Corvette.
No, no, I think that's a car. They call it a callback. It's a joke that refers to another joke that you told earlier on.
Right.
So most people
yeah.
will end on that or will build with that. And yeah, that's.
The Corbett family is an English family of Anglo-Norman extraction and became one of the most powerful and richest of the land gentry in Shropshire.
Do you know them?
No,
All right.
So you don't have personal ties to them?
I do not have. I mean, I might be related to them.
the story.
Like, it doesn't, but you just said Corbett is a car, but it's not. It's
A Corvette is a car.
I said Corbett.
All right. Well, we're all misunderstanding each other.
Anyway, the point is, comedy is
What's
subjective.
Thank you, Brennan.
Oh god.
Wonderful. Well, wrap that up. So we've solved comedy. What's the next topic?
Avatar.
We solved comedy. We solved Avatar. Let's go ahead and solve the next big thing: the Twitch Safety Advisory Council.
I got some thoughts
End
on
it.
this.
So let's go ahead
From
and give
very
some...
light-hearted comedy discussion to drama online.
So let's go ahead and talk about the Twitch Safety Advisory Council real quick. I'll just give the cliff notes on it.
Yeah.
Twitch had announced on May 14th that the Safety Advisory Council will be a group of individuals that will inform and guide decisions made at Twitch by contributing their experiences, expertise, and belief in Twitch's mission of empowering communities to create together. The council will advise on a number of topics, including drafting new policies and policy updates, developing products and features to improve safety and moderation, promoting healthy streaming and work-life balance habits, protecting the interests of marginalized groups, and identifying emerging trends that would impact the Twitch experience. They worked with this group. They brought on a bunch of people, folks like Co-Carnage, who I happen to greatly respect, are a part of this council. You also have a few other notable names that are in there too. But it seems like there's been some controversy, and this is where I bow out and Bren takes over.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Listen, let me lay it down for you. People are taking issue with, I think, one of the members of this council because of some clips that she came out with saying a bunch of stuff that could be deemed, quite extreme. I think they're all missing the point, and they're all probably just looking at it because they want to tear this person down. Like they look at this list of people, and there's a certain person in, I think, that everyone thinks of, what comes to mind, that probably would just scour that person's Twitch. The person is what, ferociously Steph.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact when this was announced, guarantee you, there's a certain type of person out there that would scour her Twitch for clips to post to try and drag those people down and out of those positions, because that's just the kind of people that exist in the world. Not saying that some of the clips weren't weird, but I think the overarching point that people are missing is that this safety council is just a PR move by Amazon, and they have no fucking power whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, they literally probably have zero control, despite the fact that there was a clip that came out of her saying, I have power, I'm not afraid to use it on people. It's like, yeah, whatever. Realistically speaking, no one on this council has power. It's just a move that is essentially being made by Amazon, the corporate mega giant company, to appease a certain subsection of people. I think people are finding drama and then it just kind of spirals out of control like some ball of shit in the Amazon, just slowly accruing more and more. You know what I mean? Like they found some drama and they found someone to focus on, and then that person's obviously going to start battering back on her own stream, and then suddenly the drama shitball just accumulates, and it's just this content cycle. But they're all these people are missing the main point, which is none of these people have power. This is a move made by a company, because this is what big companies do, is they want to appear like they're listening to their audience.
That's the bigger point before we delve into the drama around it, though, is are these people even going to have any effect in what occurs? Because I mean, you've got the very cynical point of view, Bren, that they will have no power whatsoever.
The CEO put out a note yesterday talking about
Bro, I've worked in the Overwatch League for 2 years. These people will not have power.
What does that mean, Bren?
Yeah,
it means that I know how these big corporations now work from being in the inside of one.
Right.
Doesn't sound
I know
like
how they
to me.
think.
The Overwatch League doesn't have a safety council.
But I know how they think. There's some executive in Amazon that's like, how do we, we've been getting some bad PR recently on the Twitch side of things from this particular subsection of people. How can we gain back their trust? Let's create a Twitch safety council with a variety of people that people can go to. Yes, you can probably go to them, and yes, Twitch will probably fast-track reports made through this council, but realistically speaking, I don't think they're going to have much power in the grand scheme of things, because I think that's not the way that these corporations work.
We should make a tier 2 council.
I actually think you're wrong.
Really? Because I agree with Bren broadly speaking. I think that they'll fast-track reports and be there as like a reach out to the... So, for example, Ferociously Steph... like represents the trans community on this board, and I think that if there are people, trans streamers or trans Twitch users that are getting harassed and bullied, they'll feel a little safer to be able to go to a board like this, because they know that there is someone there that understands them and understands what they've gone to, and that report will get fast tracked. But I don't feel like they're gonna make huge moves in terms of the rules or in terms of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so let's just get into it, because you guys are just chatting about it.
No, Alex has a point, though.
Yes, he does have a point. I don't want to move on. You're going to have your say. But I want to say that the CEO, Emmett Smith, I think his name is?
Emmett Shear.
Emmett Shear. Sorry, I apologize. He came out with a note yesterday, and he was talking about how the council actually doesn't have any power. It's just for them to essentially get opinions from them and a different perspective. So they wanted people who were very diverse to provide a different perspective and sort of challenge Twitch beliefs, but they don't have any say in bans or any of that stuff. And they actually pretty hardcore disassociated themselves from the council itself, saying they don't work for Twitch or whatever, they don't represent what Twitch is. We just look at these people as some people who have opinions about the community. So with that out of the way, they don't have power. But go ahead, Goldenboy.
But they're an advisory board.
So that was going to be the crux of it. But I will add a bit more, because I worked at Twitch for almost 3 years, and I know how they operate, and I know how this whole idea came about. And I will say this about Twitch, and I know that they are going to get, or I know that I may get blamed or get some flack for this. Not blame, but get some flack for this. But, I've known the partnership team or members of the partnership team. It's obviously a lot different now. There are newer faces there, or the esports team, or even members of the community team. And I could genuinely tell you that they do care. They do care about, the broadcasters. They care about the community. They do, right? That you can say what you will about the Alinity situation and the moderation and all that stuff. But they're human beings that work there, and I know for a fact that they care. That said, this was not necessarily both a PR move, but not in the capacity that would grant them, such good credit and goodwill with individuals. In fact, I actually think that the reason why they did this was to put some more checks and balances on themselves because of the things that are going on. I think that, again, not to bring her name up, but, the situations like what happened with Alinity are things that Twitch desperately needs to avoid. And by having an independent source come out and say, this needs to be handled right now because this is the issue that it is causing, I think will actually create some kind of meaningful, will actually create meaningful change. I think it will create meaningful change that people will act on, because there will be a body of individuals that can just flatly say, on behalf of the community, this thing is not good and you should not do this, and or you should get rid of it. And then, from there they can choose what they do and what they don't do. And then that puts more pressure, I think, on Twitch to self-moderate effectively in areas where they have clearly struggled in the past. And the other thing, and this has kind of just been a constant issue with Twitch, and I'm shocked it still is an issue, because it was an issue when I worked there and it's an issue to this day. And this kind of goes to the core culture of Twitch, to be frank, is that every bit of messaging that ever comes out always is just not described properly. And I do not understand why it continues to be that way. When I worked at Twitch, it made sense. We were just merging with Amazon. It was, obviously a collection of individuals that were professional, but did not have the things that they needed in order to effectively ensure that they were not going to be doing something like putting something out there, putting messaging out there that was wrong or didn't contain all the info or excluded some information, blah, blah, blah. I thought that would actually improve over the years, especially as Twitch changed their branding and changed everything about, how Twitch looks, on the outside. And that is still a problem, and that it will continue to be a problem. Because when they announce the Safety Advisory Council, which, by the way, awful name, because you make it seem like they have a ton of power.
Council.
It's like council. Well, when you hear council,
the council will decide your fate.
Exactly. Why would you have that? That just makes no sense.
I think it is by definition a council, right? They counsel Twitch.
Yes.
I don't know what the definition of council is, but probably.
The point is that it's not a good term, because terms evolve, and when we hear stuff like the Jedi Council, right? I know it's fiction, but you hear the Jedi Council and you're like, oh yeah, that's the body that manages all of the Jedi, right? And so when you hear Safety Advisory Council, you're like, oh, this must have a lot of power, and these people must have a ton of influence on Twitch. That's my take on it.
I have to dissect your arguments and shit on them like Ben Shapiro.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna shit on them. I'm not gonna shit on them. But when how long was it since you last worked at Twitch?
It's been a few years now, for sure. It's been I would say 3 years, three and a half years now.
3.5 years. Yeah. So I know for a fact that not for a fact, but basically from what I've spotted, there's a lot of parallels between the Amazon acquisition of Twitch and Blizzard being kind of merged with Activision, and Activision sort of creeping into the influence of Blizzard. And I think there's so many parallels between the two that I can probably comment on that in those 3.5 years since you've left. At the time, I'm not saying that there's not people in Twitch that care about providing an alternative outlook or whatever, but I can probably say with some confidence that the motives of Twitch as a company are now in line with the motives of Amazon, the mega corporation, in a lot of ways, because Twitch made some decisions previously that weren't in the benefit of the company. They weren't really acting in the best interest of the company, but acting in the best interest of the users or the broadcasters, which was pretty sick, right? You kind of need to do that if you're going to be running a startup in the first place. You need to kind of prioritize that over profit. Community. But now it's the profit train, and that's where you're going to start trying to basically you're making decisions based on that. And I can see past this curtain. Now I know I make a lot of I talk a lot of conspiracy theories on this show.
You both said at the same time.
This isn't a conspiracy theory, but I can see it coming from one of the executives. Some guy who gets brought in from the business side of Amazon to manage something at Twitch, and they're looking at the overarching sort of demographics that they're trying to appeal to, and they're like, yes, we've got that right wing really nailed down in the form of our Just Chatting streamers. We've got them locked, What are we really failing at? And they've spotted their weaknesses, and this is a response to it. I think you're right with that as well, Alex. You're saying, that Twitch is really pretty bad at describing stuff in the blog post. Like the initial blog post didn't really explain too much of what. Well, yeah,
no,
I mean,
it made it seem like they had like, for example, drafting new policies and policy updates. That's a pretty big one, honestly. And that is something
they made
that
it sound like they had a lot of power, and maybe they did until the backlash, and then suddenly you've got your CEO coming out with another scripted response saying, no, they actually don't have power. They don't have power. They're just advising us. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of want to riff on what Bren said about the corporation kind of look and like how they're acting like a corporation thing. The thing that just annoyed me a little bit, and like I have bad respect for Carnage as well, but like when you look at that council, and maybe it's because I don't hang around on Twitch for too much, but I didn't recognize a ton of those people to begin with. And then immediately following the announcement, you have a lot of big streamers actually like questioning the council and like talking about the council as if they didn't know this was a thing before it happened. That just annoys me, because when you're trying to run a community-centric live streaming service, it would be in your best interest to make sure that the biggest streamers on the platform, like, I don't know, like Tim, Asmongold, whoever, like these big streamers, that they would at least like try to push and help Twitch, And I don't mean that. I don't think they should
disagree.
I don't think they should take time out of their day to work for Twitch or like draft policies or whatever. I don't think they should spend time on that. But at least I think Twitch should be like, they should at least make sure these people are clued in to help promote the platform and the product. Because these streamers have like, they have contracts with the platform, right? Because we got into the streaming platform wars or whatever, and they secured long contracts. So it's in Twitch's best interest to make sure these big streamers are happy on the platform and feel included, and there's not like a bunch of like flack like came out of this whole situation. So I'm just surprised that it just came out of nowhere with a bunch of diverse names, and there's like people are like, whoa, what's happening here? Like, it's just a council out of nowhere. Like, that's what sort of is like stings me, because I've seen so many corporations in the past not being clued in with the community, and then the forums go wild because that's where the community hangs around.
But the big streamers, if you have them on these kind of boards, you'd be giving them way too much power. Like, they already are the biggest streamers on Twitch, and if you allow them to advise on what should be allowed, then it goes counter to the whole purpose of the board. Like, imagine it's not Alinity that's, a threat of being banned, but it's like one of the big streamers, like Tim's fucking around on IRL streams, flashing his nipples everywhere, and then he's really part of the same. Well, but that absolutely
that's not really fair.
How is that not? The biggest streamers are the ones that would benefit most from being sat on the advisory board. I think it would be a vast conflict of interest to have your biggest streamers be part of an advisory board to Twitch, because it's just the rich getting richer at that point. The point of your advisory board should be so that you're representing a diverse section of the people underneath them. The biggest streamers are fine. They are going to be perfectly fine. They're raking in money. They have vast amounts of communities that are out there.
I'm not saying
already,
they should be on the council, though. I feel like
they should be clued in. They at least should have known about it.
Yeah, I feel like there should be. I feel like there should have been a meeting a week prior to the announcement, and it doesn't have to be like mandatory, of course not, but at least like make it aware to the big streamers that this is a thing that's happening.
I think
so they can get questions out of the way. Yeah, like to partners. To partners.
That would have been the better thing. You know, because sometimes I'll get emails, like I've been getting emails about like, what would I do if Twitch launched like a tournament platform? Like, I've been getting that survey on my emails a lot, right? Which leads me to believe that they're going to launch a tournament platform relatively soon, especially because they launched the esports category. My thing, and I agree with Josh. I totally agree, because you shouldn't be giving power, like that much power to the big streamers. Carnage is a big streamer, by the way.
Oh yeah, and I saw that. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And Bren doesn't know him because he doesn't watch like single player
everyone
games.
I know has said very good things about him. But
Oh, he's
I'm just not
fantastic. I mean,
familiar.
He's super nice.
I cannot
Nicest guy.
say better
Yeah.
things about Cold Carnage and his content, because his content is genuinely entertaining, and he is a strong promoter of family and community, and like the coalition. His community group it's actually really incredible to watch. Like I was at TwitchCon, and he did a coalition meetup, and I was at a restaurant that was like next to where he was doing it. I mean, that place was packed, bro, packed with people. And yeah, it's just a overall swell dude. But anyway, moving
Nice.
forward from that, I think that this whole thing, you know, you mentioned, Bren, about some executive saw it and stuff, and you know that could be true. That could be true. Is it true? We obviously don't know. From my inner workings there, I would say that one of two things could have happened. One, Bren's scenario, an executive saw the bad coverage and was like, we need to do something to fix this. So this is the thing that we're going to do, right? Keep in mind, I know this is going to sound weird, but this is a very like not big corporation thing to do, by the way. Like, you know, when YouTube was having a ton of issues with like the child videos, right, that were sexualized and stuff and going into YouTube Kids, or when the adpocalypse thing happened, right? Like YouTube didn't really do anything publicly. Like the CEO said some stuff, and that was like really about it. I recall a very interesting exchange when I went to the EA Game Changers event, and they had a representative from Twitch, a representative from Facebook, and from YouTube there. Fun little aside from that, there was a mixer person there, but he was only in the crowd and he wasn't allowed to talk, which was actually hilarious. Anyway, moving on though. And this was recent too. So the YouTube person, unfortunately, was bombarded with questions about the adpocalypse, because a lot of the game changers in there were all YouTubers that were just getting destroyed by this thing. And, you know, the reason why all those people were asking those questions is because YouTube gave zero community interaction regarding what's going on with this thing. The CEO said some stuff. There was some stuff put out in the press, but nothing to the degree of something like this, where Twitch then decides, clearly we're doing something wrong. We need to do something to try and like correct it. And that is why they did the Twitch Safety Advisory Council. Again, there is different, it could very well have just been an executive doing that, and just been like, we got to do this because it's going to help our brand. And I wouldn't be shocked. It's just, they operate weirdly sometimes. And here's the other thing too. This is the stone cold truth about this whole thing, because a big problem when I worked at Twitch was that things would start, and then out of nowhere, you're moving on to the next project. And I will not be surprised if in a year from now, we're not even talking about this thing. Maybe even 6 months.
I don't think we will at all.
Yeah, not even 6 months, because Twitch will just silently phase it out, and then we'll see one of these streamers at an event or something, and they'll make a joke about it on stream. Oh, remember the Twitch Advisory Council? Lol. Like, I guarantee that's going to be a thing. Like, because that Twitch does that so freaking much. They start something and then they don't finish it. Like VODs. They started VODs and then they never really finished it. Or chat replay. Another thing that they just started and never really finished. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is what happens with the advisory council.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite hard as well, though. I mean, I don't think we want to go down that road. But if you're Twitch, it's very hard to implement cool new features that people appreciate. Because they've tried to implement so much shit and no one cares. No one uses it.
It's also just impossible to moderate, because you can't. There's just I would love to know how much video content is produced per second on Twitch. It seems impossible to be able to keep track of all of that. You couldn't hire enough staff. I mean, YouTube have to use algorithms to be able to flag it. Because
so it goes back to AI.
AI, exactly. But the only thing you can do as Twitch is just wait for people to cause a shitstorm about something, and then be like, "Oh shit, there must have been someone must have done a poo," and so you find it and you try and ban it as much as you can. I mean, I think they've failed at doing that, but that's the only way that you can moderate a system like that, unless you have an AI algorithm waiting to shut people's streams down constantly. And I don't think they want to go that route because they've seen how many fuck ups are with YouTube. What I find most interesting about the statement that the CEO put out is that he says that they're only an advisory board. The two messages that he keeps putting out in every paragraph are they're an advisory board. They don't make decisions. They just advise on Twitch making decisions. And that they deliberately chose a group with very broad views that aren't shared by Twitch. Like, that was the purpose, to find people that had maybe not wacky, but like out there kind of viewpoints in order to add those viewpoints to the discussion happening at Twitch. It's pretty useless if you just have the same people saying the same stuff over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But it's more beneficial if you have some people who are at least a little bit on the outside or in some of these communities that don't get represented.
Yeah.
That can.
I want to add to this discussion as well before we leave it, as I produce and change the scene back to us. That I think I could clearly see why they included Ferociously Steph on the board to begin with, or the council to begin with. That being said, and talking from experience and knowing many other people, like when you get quote unquote attacked or like surprised by such an influx of attention, and you suddenly now have like thousands of viewers like questioning you, asking about your beliefs and how you feel about things, like some people don't handle that amount of attention very well, and it's a very slippery slope, and you end up saying some weird shit. And Twitch is at times a pretty weird community.
I think
so when people jump
well.
into her chat and start typing a bunch of shit like, oh, you're this, you know, they like personally attack or whatever, she might not handle that very well and might respond with like some hate back towards the chat, and then you get more clips, and then it just spirals out of control. And I think that could be what happened here.
Clips.
That said, I do think with the statements or some of the things she said, she probably should have been booted off the council to like clean up a bit of the mess. It's unfortunate. It's not her fault. I don't blame her for anything. But I would have thought
Isn't
it was
her
the
fault?
best.
Didn't she say some kind of crazy shit?
Yes, but I feel bad because there was probably a bunch of idiotic people that live at home just said a bunch of stupid shit, and she responded in a poor way. But I think the best thing would have been done to like boot her off the council after those statements. But I just want to put it out. Like, it's not, I don't think that was her normal self, if that makes any sense. Because I think that she got bombarded with a bunch of people, you know, like taking things out of context and then just questioning her and like, you know, just beating her down to the ground. And it's quite unfair sometimes, but I don't know. I wanted to add that.
But isn't the whole point of having her on the council having somebody that will have those viewpoints that are very like hardcore in her camp?
Yeah, but I think it got to a very extreme point when she goes like, I have power and you should be scared of me.
Yeah,
like, I don't think...
no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that just smells of an abuse of power trying to come up.
That's quite extreme. And I don't know if her plan on this council was to get power.
Watch a video. She said in a joking manner, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's
like,
what I mean.
I have so much power. Like, it was just like, it sounded sarcastic.
And that's what I mean. Like, you can interpret this in so many different contexts, and then people take the worst kind because they already dislike her, and then it just gets even worse, and it's a shitfest.
These people they're just humans at the end of the day. Listen, people fuck up all the time. Just why? Because they're on this council now, they're on a higher pedestal? No, they're just still people. I say fucked up shit all the time. I haven't been fired yet, but hopefully nobody makes a clip about it and gets me fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the point here is
inevitable.
That you, like, if someone was like, hey, let's have Bren run for president, just because you can, doesn't mean you should, Bren, because you might not be the best match. And so while I think
I would be a great
Ferociously
president.
Steph, you know, had like the best intentions here, and she probably had great perspective, she just didn't handle the publicity and attention very well, and it's unfortunate. And let's move on.
It's true. I think there's a bigger thing to be said about being able to handle things like that, right? Like it's not something that you're evidently trained for. No, you're never given the moment where you could, okay, Josh, you're a cat lady, we get it.
Cat lady.
I think that for our audio listeners, Josh has turned his camera to show his cat,
Fig.
which he is petting. And
Figgy Smalls, is that the name?
wait,
Yep,
is his name
Figgy
Figgy
Smalls.
Smalls? Oh
Yeah.
my god, actually, I love your cat now, even though I'm probably allergic to it. But people just have a hard time being able to deal with that kind of attention. And I'm not trying to say like har, because I'm like super famous and stuff. I am, but that's not the point. The point is that there's a lot of horrible acts and things that people can just blindly say because they're protected by the username or an anime avatar or whatever the case may be. And it's this is a broader issue, obviously. Kind of goes back to that whole Valorant toxicity thing and just toxicity in general that has always been just always going to run rampant on the internet. Like, for example, and this is, by the way, the best segue ever. Recently today was just announced that they're going to release the Snyder cut
I don't know
for
what this is.
Justice League. Now, basically what this is you guys know the Justice League movie. In the Justice League movie,
I've never seen it. Does that matter?
I don't think it matters all that much.
Should I watch
honestly,
it?
No, you don't. You shouldn't. So the point is that the Justice League movie was, a big deal. First time we're gonna get Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, right? All on the same screen together. I don't think people really care. And Flash, people didn't care much about Cyborg. But they were so excited about seeing these iconic characters come together the way that the Avengers did the same thing. And the person who directed the Avengers was Joss Whedon, who's a very well-known director. Also did Serenity, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Firefly, all that stuff. Anyway, so he was brought in post-production to finish Justice League because there was a family emergency that Zack Snyder, the original director, had to address. And ever since then, Joss Whedon's version of the movie changed a bit. They reshot some scenes. There's a very big, dispute about Superman's face because Henry Cavill was filming Mission Impossible at the time, and they needed him to come back and do some reshoots, but he couldn't because in Mission Impossible he had a mustache.
Oh yeah, I remember this weird mustache thing.
Oh, really?
He had a mustache, and they couldn't remove the mustache because he was, he was like doing this thing in the middle of filming. So like Warner Brothers couldn't like force him to remove the mustache or whatever was like in his contract. So because of that, they digitized his mustache out of his face, and it was literally the first scene in the movie you see is Henry Cavill with his face being digitized, mustacheless. It looked weird, and everyone in the theater, when I went to go look at it, I looked at my buddy Ghost, and I was like, yo, why does his face look weird? And he's like, yo, I don't know why. Like, we were just perplexed. We didn't know. Anyway, so that was one
But
of
you
the
could
things.
tell that it looked really weird.
Oh, you could totally tell, bro. And they tried to play it off as like cell phone footage.
Wow, I'm looking at some of the images now. That looks awful.
Yeah, and they try to play it off as self. Put it in the chat so that
No, put it in the doc.
John, or put it in the doc. Yeah.
All I did was Google Henry Cavill mustache removal, and the CGI mouth just doesn't fit his face at all.
Yeah, it just goes to show how far back we are when it comes to this kind of technology.
Wow.
So yeah, so this obviously was like a whole thing, and Joss Whedon also kind of changed the tone of the movie a little bit. Zack Snyder, very well known for the dark and brooding undertones of his films. If you look at Man of Steel or even Batman vs Superman, which is also a really bad movie, but people will fight me on it apparently, as I've learned today. So that all happened. He changed the tone of the movie. The movie wasn't good. So a few months later, fans were like, what was Zack Snyder's original vision? We want to see the Snyder cut. What is the Snyder cut? And this became a whole thing to the point where it became this like hashtag that trended for a very long time. And Zack Snyder even added wood to the flame, saying that the Snyder cut does exist. There were a
How
few
did it
things-
exist though? If he had a family emergency and had to leave?
Well, his version, because apparently Joss Whedon went in there, and I guess whatever he saw needed to be reshot, and
Right.
then needed to be changed because he maybe thought it wasn't going to be a good movie.
Okay.
Otherwise, obviously that was his vision, and then we had Zack Snyder's vision. Now, funny enough, and I don't know if I could link this to you guys. I can try, but according to the details of Zack Snyder's Justice League, 4 hours are cut or split into 6 chapters, quote unquote, and they had a $20 to $30 million budget to finish the visual effects, and that the new Snyder cut is an entirely new thing, and that what we saw in the movies was probably 1/4 of what Zack Snyder actually did. That said, HBO or Warner Brothers has announced, or Warner Media has announced that in June 2021, so it's like a whole freaking year from now, they are going to release the Snyder Cut.
Wait, so how long is it? Did you say 6 hours?
I don't
4
freaking
hours.
know.
Is
It
it
says
4 hours
this
long? That's a
article-
long movie.
That's
No,
ridiculous.
it probably
it says,
won't be that long.
It says possibly in a 4 hours director's cut or in 6 TV style chapters.
Yeah.
So they'd cut it into like 6 45-minute episodes. I
And
guess.
it's called Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that is going to be the thing. Now, today I tweeted, and because I just felt like getting into some shit with people. You know, I just felt like getting in the
Tweeting politics.
trash. Oh no! Well, yeah, I'll never make that mistake again, ever. That was a bad one, but I'll go ahead and put it. So I sent the doc. So my tweet was, "What will people do if they spend all this effort to hashtag release the Snyder Cut?" By the way, I used the hashtag because I knew it was going to get people mad. And then the version of the movie sucks. And then that version of the movie sucks too.
If I type your exact tweet and copy it, will people message me as well?
Oh,
I don't know what the
probably.
fuck it's about.
Probably. Go ahead and do it. So a lot of people had responded to me. And here's the thing. This kind of goes to the I always struggle with this word. Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Anonymity. There you go. Thank you so much. English is
I
not
got
my
your
first
back,
language.
GP.
This kind of goes to the anonymity. Whatever,
No, you
of the
gotta be
internet.
kidding me right now.
I can't. I genuinely, it's like my tongue just can't. My tongue, it just struggles to be able to say these words. Anyway, someone just messaged me and called me a fat piece of shit, pussy ass bitch. to which then I replied to him, "Hey, I gained I lost 5 pounds in quarantine. Also, no." It was great. Or some people saying that I was like looking for attention with the tweet. Look, I don't give a crap. Batman versus Superman was an awful movie. You guys probably haven't seen it, so I'll go ahead and summarize the whole thing for you. Batman, historically in the comics, it's great material, by the way, in the comics. Historically has not trusted Superman. Obviously, you have a being from another planet who is fucking immortal and has all this power. Yet he chooses
but they're friends now.
No, shut up. He
But they're friends
chooses
now.
He chooses his thing for good, right? But what happens if Superman just one day decides that the Earth is not worth saving? Who the hell is going to stop him? Okay, so that is kind of the mentality that Lex Luthor has, but it's also the mentality that Bruce Wayne has, and he never ever trusted Superman 100%. It was always a debate whether or not he does. So this movie kind of fed off of that whole thing. All right. Now, this is spoilers, but honestly, if you guys watch the movie, you're going to find it funny no matter
Superman
what.
dies.
The whole entire arc of the movie ended when Batman realized that Superman's mom's name is Martha, because his mom's name is Martha and Batman's mom was killed.
Wait, really? I can't
That's
remember
literally-
the film. I watched
literally
it and I
how
can't
it
remember
happens. So there was a scene where Batman is beating the shit out of Superman because he has the kryptonite suit, but Superman needs to eliminate Batman because if he doesn't, then Lex Luthor will kill his mother. To which then Superman yelled out loud, "Martha!" And then he was like, "Martha? And then that was literally it. And then he's like,
Wait, what?
yes.
No.
You think I'm lying, bro?
No,
Listen, it may have been acted a little bit better
no.
because we had two good actors on screen, but no, that's actually what happened.
No. Surely
I feel
not.
like you've set my expectations so low that I'll be able to enjoy Avatar now.
Yeah.
The callback comedy.
There
The whole
it is.
podcast works out.
There it is. There it is.
Yes.
That's
I'm
that's
gonna
kind
link
of
you guys.
appalling.
I'm gonna link you
Yeah,
guys
that's
this.
pretty
It's in the doc, so you can go ahead and see it. It's a YouTube video, but it's not cut, like it's not an illegal thing for the movie. It's from an actual channel. Where can I find it?
The
Yeah.
YouTube link?
So,
You've just pasted your tweet again.
oh, did I?
Oh, there we
Sorry
go.
about that.
Wait, can we
Maybe you've
show
done that.
movies on our podcast?
No, it's from Slash Film. I mean, it's literally a scene from the thing. I wouldn't worry too much.
I mean,
about
Joe
it.
Rogan
But essentially,
doesn't do it. I don't know.
no, okay, then don't do it. But basically, the whole point was, if you go in, you can actually show it at 146. He
Okay, I'll show the
actually
scream.
Yeah. He says, like, he screams out at around 140. He screams out the name Martha.
Okay, wait.
And-
I'll hype this up.
Yeah, I've just got to it. He's saying
up.
that he'll kill Martha. Oh my god, this is dreadful.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna listen to it on the stream.
Wait, aren't we gonna get a TOS?
No, I don't know if we get a TOS. I wouldn't put the audio. Essentially,
What does that mean?
he just says "Save Martha," to which then Bruce Wayne reflects on his mother being killed. And obviously, it is a heart-wrenching scene, but it's like,
TOS.
really, dude? Like, that's the whole point? Like, all this hate that you have for this alien being who you perceive could murder society at any point in time, that you feel responsible to stop, and the only thing that changes is the fact that he yelled out "Save Martha," just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I just watched it. Do you want to change
Yeah,
the topic?
that's really terrible. Absolutely terrible.
You want to change the topic? Bren, last time you wanted to change the topic, we had a great conversation, and the podcast was loved by thousands.
I was gonna
I
say
just-
something though. What? People are not gonna be hyped for a recut of something they've already seen. Like, I don't
Because they
understand that.
claim it's going to be different.
Yeah,
They
but
claim
they
it's
haven't
gonna be
seen
like-
the same scenes, or not all of them, but like some of the
Yeah,
scenes
not
are
all
the
of them.
same, and then you'll be
But I
like,
mean,
"Oh, here's one of the scenes I've seen." Cool.
But that's kind of the
Well-
point, right? That there's 3/4 of it is brand new content,
Yeah.
or at least
I find it weird.
it is going to be new in some way. It's probably just going to be very similar takes and like some scenes that were deleted and stuff.
I
probably
feel like
weird,
this is a thing where it's like where we sometimes joke that like the audience doesn't know what it wants. I feel like this
Yeah.
is one of those things.
yeah.
They're like, we
No,
want
no,
the
the
Snyder
audience-
cut because it's better, but we haven't
I
seen
think-
it.
I think the fans will enjoy it regardless, because they just like Batman and Superman stuff, right? They're just big
Yeah.
fans of that kind of franchise. So any content that comes out, they just consume it.
Yeah. I think really when you think about the consumer and what they are after here, when you really drill down to the core of it, Alex is a big fat pussy bitch. and, and that really that tweet I
that's the
think that
core
you
of
got that summed it up. I think people
make
were given
sense.
hope and you had to tear that hope away from them, and that makes you a big fat pussy
Dude,
bitch.
I will
or whatever
say
he
though,
said.
I posted that tweet. I've got 14 responses. All of them agree with me. So maybe it just says
Yeah.
something about you, Alex. Maybe you just got people just
Maybe it is.
really. Maybe they follow you, look to disagree with anything you say.
It could be maybe because I'm like historically a very positive person, and I think that people.
Are you saying I'm not?
No, not at all. You're not. I mean, anyone who knows you knows that you're not. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're the most cynical human being on planet Earth. Like, there's, or not planet Earth, but you are definitely a very cynical. Like, I would say in this call right now, you're the most cynical person.
Would you guys say that?
Yes.
Cynical,
Out of the
Really?
four of us, yeah.
like negative, like questioning.
Not negative, but yeah.
Not negative.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of negativity, right? It's like
I think
being
Josh is just trying
untrusting.
to- That's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Maybe. I can feel like Josh sometimes he just argues for the sake of arguing.
Yeah, Josh likes to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Johnny is a very, like wide-eyed, wholesome Swedish boy from a village.
I call myself an optimist. I'm
And
like
I
the
am
glass is
the
half
most-
full.
humble person on planet Earth.
yeah.
I think you've just brought up some sort of childhood trauma, maybe.
Oh.
I have trouble
Go
trusting people.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to derive at?
Yeah,
Anyway,
because we
can
never
we-
really dived into the fact that you and your uncle did some weird things on your family trips, and we really should have. We didn't talk about it at all, and someone brought it up in a comment section on YouTube. There's
What'd
like,
they
no one's going
say?
to talk about the fact that Bren's uncle touched him inappropriately in front of other people, and I was like, we really didn't talk about that, like
Because it was
at all.
funny at the time.
I just watched The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is about deep-seated childhood trauma from adults touching young children.
Wait,
So
what?
yeah, you never seen that
Perks
movie?
of
Perks
being
of
a
Being a
wallflower.
It's a great movie. It's fantastic, but I mean, it also touches on
Dude,
deep childhood trauma.
I found it funny at the time. What can I say?
Oh, is this
Yeah,
Emma
that's-
Watson?
I like making Germans uncomfortable.
Yes, it's got Emma Watson in as well. If that's what it takes, you can replace Avatar with Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Johnny's like, oh, Emma Watson's involved.
Hey, man.
It'll have nuance that the Avatar won't.
Dude. Oh man. I mean, look,
Great movie.
we're all just a bunch of freaking weirdos at the end of
True.
the day. That's
Can
really
we
what it
watch the
boils
damn
down to.
shorty video?
What is
You guys
this? Is
seen
this
this?
the topic that you wanted to change to?
Yeah. Have you
Put it
seen this
in, put it in.
video?
Where is it?
It's called Damn Shorty.
What?
Oh my god.
Have you guys seen this?
I have seen this. It's horrible cringe, Bren.
The,
Please.
the kid,
no.
it's not the kid. It's satirical.
Is it?
Yes.
Wait.
You didn't realize that this is satirical? I mean,
Had no idea. I mean, this
Dude,
is just like a kid enjoying some rap, and then
have you guys seen this?
I have not, but I'm actually laughing my ass
Yeah.
off right now. Because it
What?
always cracks me up when I see
Okay,
you
I'm
know,
gonna play this.
little white kids like reciting hip hop. It just always cracks me up because they always
Yeah.
do it in a very
Put it back a
awkward
little
way.
bit.
Like they don't know like what to do with their hands. It's always great. It always cracks me up.
Let's just brighten this up a little bit.
It's fucking satirical, bro. He busts out the lighter and starts trying to light up a piece of paper.
yeah, I
How
mean,
can you think that's real?
because I have a little brother, and I've seen how he and his friends interact, and it's very similar to this. So if it's satire, it's wonderful satire because it's bang on.
Yeah. No, it is. It's so good. He doesn't even know the
A little
words.
bit.
Dude, I gotta work in
He
my
doesn't even know the words of the
Cartonese.
song. It's
He's gonna practice his
I gotta work in
Cartonese.
my Cartonese. This man's
That's what
been
he
down for
says.
so long. He created his own language.
like
I find that I don't know. So many
I
people
think-
got baited by this.
Where
I
have
mean,
you
I feel
gone?
like we're gonna get flagged. Well, then again, this kid's video is up on YouTube, so I guess it's not gonna get flagged.
I played a few seconds of it. I mean, we're really
Good.
just testing our limits here. I mean,
We really are.
if we can't
how
get our
far can we
$5
go?
of ad revenue for
Yeah,
a
if
week,
you want to
then-
test your limits, then pull up the Pokemon putting up a Pornhub video. You know what I mean?
Well, this is YouTube and it's React content, so I think we're fine.
She didn't get any like she didn't get banned for that, right? I mean, that was
I don't
not even her fault.
Depends on
it's
what
one
the
of
safety council has to
multiple
say about
right?
it.
I don't know. Yes,
Yeah.
the council will decide your fate, Pokemon.
yes, of course. The Council of Evil will decide where you
Oh my god, there was so many
That's
wrong things
great.
about that clip. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, you know, man, look, the world's just a weird place. We just try and be a little not so weird. A fun, or well, no, we try and be a little weirder. I do want to also say the last video that we had about it was actually a great title, by the way. 2 small streamers giving advice
2?
and stuff, or 4 small streamers, whatever.
Yeah, the other two
advice.
are pretty big.
I thought it was great.
Whoever made that title, well done.
You know, I think that I just ever since I've been seeing a lot of growth on the channel lately, and it's been pretty crazy, man. And then I decided one day that I wanted to raid our good friend Jonathan Larson here.
No, we're not allowed to talk about
okay.
this. We're not allowed
We're
to
not
talk
gonna,
about
we're not
this.
going to
Talk
talk
about this.
about the details, but let's just say that Johnny was not prepared mentally, physically for
What are
the
we
raid.
doing here?
And I watched the stream, and I knew something was off, but oh god. And
What are we
it's just
doing here?
great. I love rating you guys. It's really fun.
Yo, I was
Like,
just watching some music videos. I was talking to chat, having a
you were
great
watching
old time.
AC/DC videos, weren't you? What were you? What
No,
were you?
I didn't.
Meatloaf.
No, I wasn't watching AC/DC. What the hell?
What,
I was
mean, you were-
watching. I was all over the place. I watched like metal. I watched like Red Hot Chili Peppers. We brought up some Depeche Mode from the 80s. You know, like we were all over the
Depeche Mode
place.
slaps.
Depeche Mode, yeah. So like we were all over the place. I can't even remember, but we watched some cool stuff.
Do you guys like doing the just chatting stuff? Like
That
is
was the
it
first
worth
time I did
doing?
it. The first
Dude,
time, and I
I-
just
all
loved
my-
it.
All my streams these days are just React Andy streams.
Yeah, dude, they really
Literally all
are.
of them.
Like I go in and I see play
I kid you
Valorant,
not.
and you're just reacting.
I kid you not. Yeah, reacting to plays, enemies coming up on my screen, and then I headshot them instantly because I'm an elite gamer. The videos though, I watch these Taiwanese and like Korean and Japanese food videos where they have no commentary. It's just someone recording street food.
Oh, I saw that. That actually
Yeah.
looked really good.
Dude, those videos are elite because I eat my shitty food while watching them, and I feel like I'm eating the good food.
So it's like mukbang almost, but
Yeah, but I also it gives me the opportunity to go
Fantasy.
downstairs and make food for 30 minutes, and I just leave my stream on watching the video, which I
That's
think is
a good
against
streamer.
TOS.
That's a good streamer.
Listen, we have different styles of streaming, Josh. Me, I basically just leech content. You use me for content. So
Yes.
Yeah.
we're kind of the same, huh?
Oh, and then I just also want to cover this one because now I understand why Johnny probably stopped playing Overwatch with you guys. I jumped into a stream when Josh would not stop playing Doomfist, and I have never seen someone throw so hard.
God!
It was the funniest thing ever. And I could see his face the whole time. He was doing it for the freaking content, bro.
doing it for the
He
fucking
wasn't
YouTube
doing
video.
it. He wasn't
No.
trying to win. He was
I
doing
was
it
trying
for
to win.
content.
No,
Bro,
shut up, Josh.
You threw so hard and you kept going. You guys could have won that Volskaya game and you kept going. Like there was no reason for you to be Doomfist in that instance. but
Okay.
You kept going.
Jeff has said that it's not throwing to just play the hero that you want to play. I wanted to play Doomfist, and I tried to play Doomfist at the best level that I possibly can, but I'm just not a good Doomfist. And
So
that makes it
Josh
not throwing.
reached out to me because I was playing Overwatch. I was playing ranked, and I'm trying to push the Grandmaster on DPS, right? Because I'm like, I want to do it not to prove to myself, but I actually want to record some content, and so I want to hit GM to like so I can learn and like have like first-hand experience.
Yeah.
And so Josh comes around. I'm like 2 games away from Masters. And Josh comes around and he's like, hey, Johnny, do you want to play? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to hit GMs. You know, all I ask is you don't play Road Dogg. And he's like, okay, well, how serious are you about it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty serious about hitting GM. And so we end up queuing. And I say like, hey, the only thing I ask of you is don't play Road Dogg. We play like 2 games. He's
did I play
absolute
Roadhog?
trash.
Nope.
Absolute
No Roadhog, no.
trash. We got like second or third game. We got first point held on Hollywood. And I just left voice chat. I hate life. I almost rage quit my own stream. Somehow we end up holding point A on Hollywood better than they held us. Because he
of my
played
Orisa.
Orisa. Because he played Orisa. So I'm like, okay, great. Josh literally like had me in my grave ready to close the coffin. And then I was like, oh wait, we actually won this game. Like, okay, let's go. Next game, he just one tricks Road Dogg the entire game. I just leave the stack. I say, fuck you, Josh, and I'm done for the day. And like,
Yeah,
I can't
Josh,
handle him anymore. He's
you gotta
actually a
stop throwing,
cretin.
dude. You gotta stop
I'm
throwing
not-
for content.
I'm not throwing.
You're burning
I'm-
bridges.
But wait a minute though. But wait a
trying to
minute though.
win.
I'm gonna flip this because I will just end on this note. Bren, on the other hand, is a
Freak beast at the game.
no. So when we play Valorant with Bren, there's apparently only one way that Bren can play Valorant, and that's if he mutes everyone and then just pumps up music and just fucking W keys everything. And that apparently worked for like the attacker side when we played on Haven. And then he just threw and moving. And then once you knew he started to talk, it was over. We lost the game. There was just no chance of us being able to come back.
No. You're misrepresenting it, because I play properly usually, but when I get the opportunity to play Valorant, it's usually quite late at night. So I don't get people to communicate anyway, and when they do communicate, they're just being toxic. So what I do is I just preemptively mute everybody, play a little bit of music at about 10% volume just to get me vibing, and then I lock in Raze, and then I play like a fucking maniac, because here's what I start getting into my own head. I reached this diamond rank, and what I noticed was I get into diamond, I'd start playing too cautiously, and too patiently, and I dropped down into plat, and then I'd stop giving a fuck, and then I would just top frag. And what I realized was it was a confidence thing for me. It was I didn't have confidence coming into the games. As soon as I reached diamond, for some reason, this mental barrier got put up. So now I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then I go in and I kill everybody. GB.
What I tell,
and if you don't like my style of killing everybody, then maybe you're the problem, huh?
Maybe.
Bren.
Maybe. I mean, I hate Sage, so that definitely is my issue. I have said though, I was telling this to my boys yesterday, because we were playing, and I've gotten knocked down to like plateau, and I've stopped caring about the rank.
Plateau's
Like,
pretty good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's pretty
it's
decent.
not diamond, and I want to be taken serious as a Valorant commentator, honestly. So like, I want to try and push Immortal. Like, I genuinely do want to try and get to Immortal. Maybe I'm not
going to be taken seriously.
Maybe no. I think Immortal is.
That's kind of said in jest, but at the same time, people are always going to critique you, and if they don't like you, they're going to just point to your rank no matter what it is.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with that, and I understand that. That's why I do want to try and push as far as I possibly could.
You're doing great, Boo.
Yeah, dude. I'm just a month. I'm a month into keyboard and mouse, and I'm a boomer. So like, what do you expect me to do?
You're doing great.
Thank you, buddy. That said, I told my boys yesterday. I said, you can't show them respect. That's it. I realize what is the big problem with everyone when they play Valorant is that they show their opponent too much respect. To the point when if you show your opponent so much respect that you give them more than half of the freaking map, they're gonna win the round. You can't do that.
Definitely.
So that's actually what I've started to do. And it doesn't matter if I play diamond players, like, and here's how I look at it. If they demand the respect, so if I'm pushing long C on Haven and they like opt the crap out of me like 2 rounds, I'm like, that guy earns my respect. But you know who doesn't have my respect? That punk ass bitch on A. I'm gonna go for him and destroy him, because I guarantee you I don't need to worry about it. And then I'll make that cipher respect me instead. And that's kind of the way that I've been operating mentally in Valorant. You just can't show your opponent respect. That's
You
it.
guys
Don't show
just need
people
to watch
respect.
more Jordan Peterson videos. Like, I don't get it.
Sure, yeah. Tidy your bedroom, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tidy your
That's
bedroom. You'll feel good about yourself. You go into a game
My
of
bedroom
Valorant.
is a fucking mess.
Okay, I clean my
It looks
bedroom.
nice. Looks nice
No,
in the background.
you have no idea.
Oh, is your body?
That tree looks like it's been in an incredibly windy place. But I know it's a fake plant that's
I
never been
haven't watered
outside.
it in a while, but
Wait, it's
doesn't
real?
seem to be- Yeah.
No, it's
Whoa.
not. There's
No, it's
no
not.
way. Bren's never kept anything alive for that long.
It's not.
He had a hamster and he tried to eat it before he moved over.
I thought
to
you
the-
actually made some sick boner joke right there, but maybe it wasn't.
Excuse me?
What?
Kept anything alive for that long, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into things.
Dude, because you were talking about his penis. I get it now.
Sorry, I'm
Why would my
reaching here.
penis be dying?
Try to keep your penis erect. You try to keep yourself erect.
No, the
whole
joke
time.
was that it's a fake penis. No, I'm kidding. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, now you
We
just killed
solved
it.
comedy and now we're trying to ruin it again.
How long are we at, Johnny? What's our time?
We're at 124, but I don't think we should have a time on this anymore. We just kind of say stop. But Goldenboy seems like he's starting to sweat. He needs to take a break, take a nap.
It's true.
Shower.
shower.
I've been pumping up the AC in my room, in my office, man.
I'll tell you. Sorry, go ahead.
Go.
GB, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
go for it.
I
Go for it.
really need a shit. So
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna end the podcast right there.
Let's end it.
All right, there we go, folks. I got the air conditioner on. My wife just cooked food. There you go. Mentioning my wife once an episode. By the way, I'm from the Bronx. Thank you guys so much for watching the Foreheads podcast, listening to this on whatever podcast platform you choose. By the way, shameless plug, Titan Games comes out Monday, Memorial Day on NBC. I'm not really shameless plugging. It's just something I'm genuinely proud of. And it was a dope season. And your boy's on screen with Dwayne Johnson a whole bunch, which looks super cool. And I look really tiny.
What's the most epic end to a podcast ever? I really like this.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you're in YouTube, comment. Let us know what you think of this episode. Do you think that we solve comedy? How do you feel about the Twitch Advisory Council, Safety Advisory Council? Do you think that the Snyder Cut will be any good? And comments on whether or not you think Bren's poo is going to be like brown or maybe green. Like, we really want to know. Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow on Spotify, wherever you choose to go. Thank you so much for watching Foreheads Podcast. We'll catch you later. Peace. Later.
Peace.